Right, Shalom, Rastafari. This is another vid here in this series right here. Been going for maybe about 10, 11 hours now, and now this is going to be another, about maybe 20, 22 minutes or so. So let's get right into this. This is the High Times magazine right here that we pointed out before. It asked the question, did a soccer accident really cause Bob Marley's death? Now, the person who presented this shoe that had some sort of a pin in it, that had some sort of a poison on it, actually was the son of some CIA man. It was because Bob Marley basically was considered at this very time to be one of the most dangerous, one of the most dangerous men in the world. That's the Nazi scientist or the Nazi doctor. Was saying, excuse me, on this right here. I made the wrong click right here. I want to save this cover. We have this magazine, and you can check out the article. I guess we have the article right here, right? So they asked right here, was it really a soccer accident? But then it goes into some detail. Even his mother, may God bless her soul, she even spoke about this as well. Let's see what's going on right here. She even spoke about this as well. All right. So on the previous series that you're going to see, where we basically take apart some disinformation that's out there, we actually see that they have a link claiming and stating that. Let's see if we can find this right here. Claiming and stating that Bob Marley. Right, claiming that Bob Marley is a false prophet, and Rastafari and Bobo Shanti is a false prophet. So make sure you share this with your brother and sister. And now there's things that, of course, we have to, we have to grow. Saying we as Rastafari, and I think that's where the real judgment, in other words, really comes to us, is that we have to go. Here's a picture of their marriage, of Bob Marley's marriage when they were young, him and Rita, right? But now let's look at the accuser. You understand? Let's deal with the accuser for a moment, right? The accuser of I and I brethren. And it says in the latter day and time that the accuser of I and I brethren, it's Satan. So here's the same page that we had dealt with before. It's called Torah Code 2012 by someone named Midbar Nesher. Right? They even quote one of our favorite Psalms, 119, 105, where it says, Noon, your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. All right? So let's go down here. Here it speaks about the Freemasonry reggae of Babylon. What? The Freemasonry, worried about the Mason point, biblical, using the word or utilizing it as that lamp for us in the previous part of the series. So it says right down here, it says, check these hidden words. Right? Another more suggestion. Remember what the 100th chapter of the Kivra Nagas, the Queen of Sheba and only son Menelik, so you can understand what these type of entities and people, are up to, especially in this time. So it says, check out these hidden words yourself about the name of the false prophet Bob Marley. So now, because people are waking up, you understand that Babylon is the vampire. Now you have these individuals that now try to stick their European Freemasonic logo on it. It's not bad enough that they already did what they did with the Bob Marley songs, understand, and how the judge of the grudges, reinterpreted these contracts, and how all this money is going out there to Europe and Germany and others in the Universal Music Group and all that, and the family. And even the fans or the brother and the sister, and if we try to post Bob Marley's music, they basically have all these copyright restrictions over song. Because remember what Bob said? Bob said the music is like a heavy duty, it's like a heavy duty, hammer, it's a heavy duty machinery. Now, here's the so-called hidden words. I don't know if you can see this well. It's some really childish kind of stuff. where now they take the B and skip the O, take the B, they skip the M, they take the A, they skip the R, they take the L, they take the E, they skip the Y, and they say Bible. All right? Then they do the same thing, excluding the R and the E out of Marley, and say Babylon. Babylon, not Babylon. You see, in Hebrew, that would be a whole different thing. So it says Torah code, but it's not really Torah. I don't know if these people can even read the Torah. You understand? Even the Babylonian Torah. All right? Then in the next one, in the third one right here, here's what they do. They include the O. They take out the M, the A, the R. They don't say Omar. They can say Omar, but they say Roma. All right? Aroma. All right? Now, they take the O, they take the M, the R, and they take the E, and they say Rome. Remember, they say this is hidden words. You understand? Check out these hidden words yourself. Now, we dealt with the other funny title, funny article, how the Selassie was a Freemason and put a question mark there. We already tore that apart, broke that down, and also a revelation was given to us, hallelujah, to the Ab, in the name of Yeshua, name of Gietai, Jesus Christos, right? But now let's look at this for a moment within the couple of minutes we have here. We might return to this particular reasoning, but let's just lay out something right here. Now, it says Bob Marley down there, right? So they take the A and the R, and instead of saying R, they reverse it. So they do a lot of scramble mix-up. There's no real science to this. This is not scientific. This is not no Torah code. This is false, misleading advertisements, right? Now, down here, they say that Ra is the ancient Egyptian sun god. No, it's not. It's Re. You understand the contraction of Re, which is Hebrew, or Ra'i, which means vision. When the sun come up, one has vision to see. That's basically the idea right there. But they go down here and they say the Eye of Ra. This is not the Eye of Ra from ancient Egypt. It's supposed to be a movie or something. You can tell how they do this. This is not the right angle. Neither is this. Neither is this. You have to remember that Tahuti basically broke that down when his evil uncle, you know what I'm saying, tried to molest him, tried to rape him. Something like what white supremacy has done, right? But anyway, let's go forward. So it says from reggae album. Now they have Third Eye Reggae Band. I don't really know of these Third Eye Reggae Band, right? Roots and culture. You know, because open season right here. Ones jump into this. They like the music, like the lots, they like the herb, they like the colors, so forth and so on, right? So this is some of the Reggae of Ra. Oh, excuse me, Reggae of Ra. I don't see that on the title. Is that their interpretation? Like the interpretation up here? You know, saying some so-called hidden words. This is blasphemy. This is slander. This is slander, brothers and sisters. This is slander right here. All right? Now, if we go further down, let's try to go through this at a lively pace, because it's going to connect with what we already addressed before. They kind of expanded the article with even more nonsense. It says, no Babylon, no Bob Marley. But Bob Marley spoke against Babylon. What about the song we talk about, oh, pirate, just a rabbi? What about the slavery? You understand? What about the oppression? You know what I'm saying? What about these areas? They don't deal with that. Now, this verse says gematria, right? Gematria is the use of these dual-purpose alphabets for calculating numerical values of words and phrases to find identical numerical values. What's your name, fella? You understand? What's your name? Let us go through your name for a moment, whoever wrote this article. Now they say the English gematria calculators. See, they give it a fancy name so you believe like, oh, this is really some science. You understand? This is bogus. You understand? This is bogus science here. They have R period, Bob Marley, right? And then it says equals 666. Are you picking up on this? You understand? I wish the family can, you know, maybe make some suits on these kind of individuals out there, because this is really some blasphemy. I mean, even when people say Ronald Wilson Reagan, at least Ronald Wilson Reagan, right? At least his name is 6 letters, and you can say, okay, it's kind of childish right there, but kind of makes some sense. So let's look at his fruit. Now, right here it says R. Bob Marley. R. Bob Marley. What's going on here? Why don't you put Robert? Because then it would not calculate. They have Robert here, they put Reggae here, and they put Rasta there. Like there's some sort of science, like RRR equals 666. What kind of nonsense is this? You understand? It is strictly nonsense. You understand? Because R obviously is 108, and that's 9 right there. And 9 is the highest single numeral number in the galaxy. But we don't want to, teach this one here. We want to break down the fact that they don't know the lesson. So they go through all this ramble, mumbo jumbo, and then they say the following report. So they put this out like, oh wow, this is, when you see this page, you're like, oh, are they really using the word? Is the word really guiding them? You understand? Is scripture really guiding them? Let's see. So we already pointed out a couple of things that are errata or errors. Now they say right here in 1 John, who is a liar but he that denies that Jesus is the Christ? He is the Antichrist that denies the Father and the Son. In fact, this page here denies the Father and the Son. This whole site right here, overall, especially where the person writes the articles, they have other people's works linked on the side, so forth and so on. But they say that the following documented conversation took place between Marley and his mom, in which Marley so-called converted his mom from Christianity to Rastafari. And, quote, it says, during this U.S. tour in 1975, Bob paid a visit to his mother in Delaware for a couple of days. This time, Bob had clearly decided to instruct her fully in Rastafari. Bob told me that His Majesty is the Almighty God. If not Jesus, no more. Right? Said, well, we reason, Mama, why is it so hard for you to believe me when I say His Majesty is God? Because from the time you are a little girl growing up, you hear talking about Jesus Christ. You go to church and you're into it. But today I'm come in a new name. No Jesus Christ no more. Right? No, and that's from Adrian Boot, Chris Selowich, and so forth and so on, of Freedom, so forth and so on. I'm moving through this at a lively pace because I want to touch on some of the main points right here. So let's look up right here in the Bible, right? Let's look up in this Bible search, new name, right? Let's look up new name, right? Let's look up new name in the Bible, right? If you have your red letter Bible, get your red letter Bible, right? So here we go right here. We're in the blue letter Bible, and let's go down here. Okay, we see in Revelation, right? We see in Revelation, well, first let's go to Isaiah 62 and 2. It says, the Gentiles shall see thy righteousness, and all kings thy glory, and thou shalt be called by a new name. What? Called by a new name. God's people, the once lost but now found black sheep of the Beta Israel, which the mouth of the Lord, of he who is who he is, he will be who he be, shall name. All right, okay. Revelation 2 and 17. If you look in your red letter Bible, you see this is red letter. They taught us that the red letter is when Jesus is speaking, right? When Christ is speaking. So it says, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith to the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna. Right? The hidden manna. Remember the Israelites in the wilderness, when the wilderness of North America, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad already laid that out, and we should recognize that if we are spiritual. You understand? And will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name. Right? He who has an ear to hear. Obviously, this one to do the Torah code page and have an ear to hear. A new name written which no man knoweth save he that receiveth it. So if you don't receive it, you don't get it. You know this? Okay, let's go to 3 and 12, right? 3 and 12 says this right here. It says, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God. Remember, it's Christ speaking here according to the interpretation and according to the red letter Bible, right? Make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my God and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God. So it's not the Jerusalem here on earth, but it's the Jerusalem that cometh down out of heaven from my God, like the rock hewn churches in La Labella. You understand? And the 11 or so other, or the 10 or so other churches in that particular area, right? It says right here, but here's the key thing, right? It says, and I will write upon him, right, my new name. I will write upon him what? My new name. This is where Rastafari gets this from. Now, you have to open that the same one in the previous vid where they try to say that Jah come from Jabalon. I mean, strictly an idiot. You understand? Talking about the word, the Bible, and they're quoting the Bible over here. You understand? They are quoting bull, and they want you to buy it. You know what I'm saying? As though you're not going to go check it out. So that talk about Jesus no more or Jesus Christ no more, there's already the new name. He says, I'm come in a new name. You know what I'm saying? Scripturally, I'm come in a new name. We just showed you that right there. So rewind the vid. You know what I'm saying? Because we're trying to redeem the time that we have here in this. Now, 2 Peter 2:14 says, having eyes full of adultery that cannot cease from sin, beguiling unstable souls, and a heart they have exercised of covetous practices, cursed children. So they're cursing I and I. These ones are cursing I and I, Rastafari. Be wise, be awake, watch, and pray, right? Here the quote is, quote, in an interview given in 1975, he declared his opinion on marriage plainly. Me never believe in marriage that much. Marriage is a trap to control me, right? Okay, he said that in an interview. Okay, so what about that? When you hear a lot of Christians say that even today, look at America. America has some of the biggest divorce rates, you understand, in the whole entire so-called civilized European world. Now it says, he says this individual, he or she or whatever they be, you understand, said that Bob Marley was possessed by spirits, right? Now Bob Marley said this to Stephen Davis, according to Stephen Davis on page 148, that the devil comes and me shake hands with the devil. Devil has his part to play. Devil's a good friend too. You know, the devil is talking about the white man. That's what he's talking about right there, whether Chris Whitewell, Blackwell, or whatever kind of well he is. You understand? Farewell. You understand? He's talking about that one right there when he said the devil come and me shake hands with the devil. Right? Now, to see more of the interview, so forth and so on. Now, the one says Bob Marley is a fool idiot, a fool idol. Right? A fool idol. Let's bring up that page where Bob Marley here is, you know, we can see him married right here. It says, the quote, children are wonderful. I don't take plenty, you know. You're just a nice girl who don't have birth control. Sexual intercourse is a lovely thing. This is the words of the legend, the words of Bob Marley. You know, I mean, what's wrong with that? There ain't nothing wrong with that. So we see how we're being blasphemed, brothers and sisters, right? I mean, this is a continual blasphemy. You probably find some other pages out there. So they decided to make a statue here in Jamaica, right? And this one is not worshiping. He's not bowing down to it. You understand? But this is what these people want to say. All right, we got a couple more minutes, and this is another one. So now they quote Deuteronomy 5:8. You must not make for yourself an idol of any kind or an image of any kind in the heavens or on the earth or in the sea. You understand? I mean, what are they talking about? This is just a statue that nobody bowing down, nobody worshiping it. What are some of their practice? What are some of their preaching of lies? So they've already come out with a certain point of view. Let's touch on this right here. The Babylon Rasta, they worship Haile Selassie. The what? Babylon Rasta? We're chanting down Babylon. See, the person's a fool. This is a real fool right here, right? They worship Haile Selassie, who is Tafari Makanin, right? Or Teferi Mekonnen, right? The king of Ethiopia.